So, absolute heartbreak for Aston Villa here at Villa Park, beaten 3-2 by Tottenham. Heung-min's son in the final minute of injury time after an absolute horror show from Bjorn Engels. What a game, 5-goal thriller. Stephen Kelly alongside me. How did Villa lose that game?
I don't know. I'm actually not sure. The first half they were excellent. Especially the first 25-30 minutes, they dominated the game. Jack Grealish was through. Most of it was fantastic for them, and they scored a couple of good goals. We're in it right up until the death, and somehow just gave away, which is probably sums up their season really. A mistake, something to give a team a chance, and but for them, they're just got to be devastated. Engels, such a bad error. Like you got to control the ball. You're probably 20 yards out, 25 yards out from goal, and just for Son to latch onto it like that, when he's going through with the pace he has and he opens himself up, I think we felt he was going to score, but it was a fantastic finish to win the game, but absolutely devastating for Villa.
In one way, you'd say if Aston Villa play like that in every game between now and the season, they'll be fine, but they played like that quite a bit this season and just cannot seem to hang on, just cannot seem to win the games.
We've been saying that about them all season. That's the thing, they have been playing like that, even going back to their first game away against Tottenham. They were exceptional and they came out losing 3-2, and it's a problem for them. They're conceding too many goals. Even when Mings is in the side, you said they've had more chances against than most teams. They conceded more goals, and it's a big problem for them, because when it gets down to this part of the season, you need to pick up points, and their running now is not very easy. It's a difficult run in against a lot of top sides, so where are they going to get a win from? They have got players going forward. They've got such an attacking threat, some very good footballers, but they need to keep them out the back end.
As a professional, if you make a mistake like that, and I'm sure it never happened to you in your career, Stephen, what do you want? Do you want the arm around the shoulder, or do you just want to get home and be by yourself for a few hours?
I don't think I'm not even sure. Your arm around your shoulder is not going to do anything for you. I think when that happens, he's looking, just praying that rain is going to save him. When it goes to the back in there, I'm sure he just wants the ground to open up and swallow him up, because it's devastating to be in the last minute of extra time and you fought so hard, and again he's been influential in the game in probably too many ways for the centre back. He scored a goal, which is great, which made up for the error with the penalty earlier on, but to go and do something like that, it's devastating, and to concede in the way they did, it's just horrible. And for him, he's going to close his eyes tonight going to bed, and all he's going to see is Son putting that ball in the back and then him missing it with his studs. But for me, I hate when players try and control with their studs. I don't know, it's probably the old school person in me, and I can imagine my manager screaming at me saying, put your foot behind the ball, don't use your studs to control it. And he looked like he was totally under control, but just bounces awkwardly and goes under, and the rest is history.
Jack Grealish at times in that game was unplayable, constantly involved. We were a bit frustrated at times. Maybe in the first half he didn't take it on himself and he was unselfish. We got very depressed about Declan Rice leaving the Republic of Ireland. Everyone was upset with Jack Grealish. Like, when you compare the two and where their careers are going right now, like, is Grealish really the one who got away?
I've said from the get-go that we would definitely miss Jack Grealish more than Declan Rice, and not because Declan Rice is not a good player. Jack Grealish is an exceptional footballer. He is 100% going to go to a bigger club than Aston Villa, and that's Villa aren't a big side. They're a huge team in English football, but they're not where he needs to be for his club, his team, his form to go further. He should be winning things. He's that good. I've trained him for a long time at Villa, and honestly, he's just all round a very good player. And what's improved has been his mentality. He's got stronger about that. He's, off the pitch, he's better with what he does it with himself, and he comes out and he puts in a performance. Every time he got the ball today, he did something good with it. He rarely gave the ball away. He was driving at the heart of the defence, and it was absolutely missed a trick for Ireland. And what would we do to have something like that in our team now? But he will go on to play for a huge club. I have no doubt about that.
A fortnight ago we were down at Tottenham Stadium wondering how the hell they managed to beat Manchester City 2-0. Not quite the same this time around. They created a lot of chances while conceding a lot of chances, but it's another win. They're back within the point of Chelsea. They go to Stamford Bridge next Saturday. It still doesn't feel like they're anywhere near where they should be.
No, and that's the thing. They're winning games and they're getting points on the board, and they're not playing as well as they should be. We talked about during the game defensively how that back four, when you had Trippier, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and then it was Rosa Davies, they just look so solid. At the moment now, they look like they can give goals away, they give teams chances. Like at corners and set plays, they were dreadful today. Every time the ball was swung in, it looked like it was going to create an opportunity for Villa. But they're still in the hunt, so you kind of feel if he can fix it, like Bergwijn looks like a very good signing. I very rate him, like we said about his stature, his physique. He seems to fit into the Premier League very well. He had a couple of opportunities, doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger either, and Son again was excellent. So going forward at times they look like the Red Arrows. Defensively they need to stop shipping goals and stop shipping chances. But if they can rectify that, and get the likes of Harry Kane back as well, they can really be a force.
It has been a bit of a slow bike race in that battle for the top four, constantly teams dropping points. If you were to have to choose them between Chelsea, Tottenham, Sheffield United, Manchester United, who are you going for right now?
I think you take Tottenham and Chelsea head of the rest of the pack, and it's probably a battle between them two. At the moment, I just feel with Mourinho in charge that they could do it. I think he knows how to get win out teams, and by speaking to a lot of people at the club that I still know there's a sense that they really feel that this is a man that can win medals for them and get them into a place where they haven't been before. And for a lot of those players, they've won championships, but not to the same level that Mourinho has. So I think they really have faith in what he can do and what he can bring to the team. So hopefully they do. And for me, I'd love to see them in the Champions League again.
Just looking at a couple of the other big stories of the weekend, Liverpool, they roll on, another victory. Sadio Mane left it late against Norwich, 25 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. You spent many years playing in this league, and people are always drawing comparisons, and you just mentioned about playing in a game where Arsenal won the title against Tottenham. You played against some of the very best teams. Where are Liverpool for you if you're looking at that sort of pecking order?
When they win it, which they will do, then I'll probably give a better judgment than I am now. But I played against that invincible team, the Arsenal team. They won the league at White and I don't like to mention it too many times, especially coming through the ranks at Tottenham. But you realise when you're playing against special players on special teams, they were unbelievable. The players they had on display, like Thierry and Vieira, just phenomenal players. On from that, you've got the Manchester United teams that were just exceptional, and Liverpool kind of remind me, I think I said it to you before, but that Man U where they don't always play exceptional football. They don't always wipe the board with teams, but they win. They just know how to win. And everybody that's going to play Liverpool are feeling like we're not going to get results here. No matter what we do, even if we're at top of our game, we're going to probably come away with nothing because the way Liverpool go about the business and the strength and depth they have in the squad. Bringing Mane off the bench yesterday, the injection of pace he put into the team, the goal he scored was fantastic, and they're just a very good side. And when they do win the league, I think it'd be hard to say that they're not up there with some of the best teams that have won the Premiership.
Defence has been obviously completely overhauled, and the massive improvement since Van Dijk came in, but even this season, they started quite slowly. There were question marks about whether they were getting to the same level defensively. They've had 10 clean sheets in the last 11 matches. You played across the back four. In terms of the full-backs, Alexander-Arnold, right back the position best, and Van Dijk at centre half. Where are you in terms of rating them?
As a partnership, there's not many better than that I've seen. Van Dijk just, you and I have spoke about defenders, and you see here tonight there's so many last-ditch tackles, people throwing the body on the line. You never see Van Dijk with even dirt on his shorts because he never has to do that. He rarely has to get in a position where he's throwing himself in. He's always in position. He's so quick, he's so strong, he reads the game so well. And then what that allows him to do is Alexander-Arnold can bomb on as often as he can because he covers the space, but Alexander-Arnold's defensive has got better. You see him when he's one-on-one situations, he rarely gets caught out like he did. I always remember back to a game when he was against Rashford a few years back, and Rashford tore him inside out, and you really learned from that. You can see he's moved on a gear. He's a bit more of a stalwart, and he offers everything. And then the other side, Robertson, I just think is phenomenal. I just think him getting forward is amazing. And then back to Gomez, what a player they have in him as well. As centre back, people talk about Van Dijk, but I think Gomez is exceptional. He's so quick, he's so good in the ball. When he brings the ball out from defence as well. So as a back four goes, there's not much better really. You think back at the pairings with Vidic and Ferdinand and Evra and people like that, and that was exceptional. But Liverpool, if these can stay together for a long time, they can go on to do amazing things.
Yeah, and we thought that we were going to be set for a great rivalry of Liverpool and Manchester City. Maybe with what happened on Friday, that's not the case, and all that's now hanging over Manchester City, maybe been thrown out of the Champions League for the next 2 years. It suddenly feels as though that club is very much in a state of flux, and it seems very much a lot of questions about whether Pep Guardiola will even be in charge of Manchester City next season.
I think there's always question marks about Guardiola, whether he's going to stay, because of his track record with clubs. He goes in, he does exceptionally well, and with Munich he was happy to leave after a certain amount of time, and I think people always thought it was going to come to an end at Man City, but now this might speed up the process just based on what's happened. And with them not being in the Champions League, which is a tournament that he's dying to win with them, if they don't have that chance, and if they do have to sell players, this is all speculation, we don't know what's going to happen, but if they're in a position where they need to balance the books a bit, some of those big players could have to go. And again, as a player, could you fault them if they want to play at the top level? I know you talk about players having commitment and, you know, for the cause, but, you know, at this end, there's a short career and you want to win medals at the highest level, and if there's not opportunity to do it at this club because the club have been untoward in the background, then it's not really their fault. So, you know, if Guardiola decides to go, then some of the players could be decided to go too.
Alright, great stuff today, Stephen. We're going to go out to the Villa masses with a big sign in your head saying former Birmingham City player right here. Come sign autographs.
Come sign autographs. Yeah, me and Clinton Morrison chat beforehand. A great crack with them.
Yeah, I can only imagine.